Hi, welcome to the second week. This week, I will show you how design can help you in exploring new opportunities for your organization. We will focus on what happens before you start actually designing or developing a product or a service. There's no clear idea yet of where to go or what to do. So how do you deal with this? As a company, you're sitting in a certain context, where you have your market, your competitors, etc. And it's sometimes hard to get a grip on what is relevant for you as a company. Where should our effort be in? Where might there be an opportunity to make a difference? We used exploring these opportunities as a way to start an innovation process. And this all starts with context. What kind of context? The context of you and your organization. What is going on and why? And later on, getting a grip on that context. What is interesting and worth exploring? As an example, I work in the context of airports, and this is a sketch of Schiphol Airport. It depicts all the activities that go on at an airport. And I know it's hard to read, but it's just to give an idea of what goes on. And slightly on purpose, this all looks overwhelming, truly chaotic and complex. So where do you start? And how do you deal with this? Dealing with this kind of complexity is a natural endeavor for designers. We love complexity. For us, it's a rich source to start from. It gives us inspirations, it's limitless and full of undiscovered opportunities. But how do you deal with this complexity without it becoming complicated? It's by embracing the complexity. Usually people tend to simplify something complex. But by doing that, we lose all of the richness and the opportunity to actually make a difference and stand out from our competition. So how do designers help in embracing complexity? And what kind of struggles can you encounter? One important aspect that many organizations struggle with is that the development process is speeding up. We want to remain ahead of our competition, and the next Uber might be just around the corner. And because of this, we launch products earlier on, bring out new versions, make use of beta versions, or make new versions based on our learnings of the previous version. But when is the right time? And how to deal with the vulnerability of putting something on the market which is not entirely finished, but you want to stay ahead of the competition. This aspect of time and things never being finished add to the complexity and requires more decisions to be made. So who are we actually doing all of this for? The user is often hard to identify. In many situations, there are various groups of people, or even a whole segment of society that fits the role of the user or the customer. And is it only the person that buys that we need to take into account? When we are teaching this to our students, they often get scared. They don't get a structured process to follow, no guidance on where to start, or which tools to use. And the overwhelming complexity often paralyzes them. This is normal, natural even, and necessary. Once you've experienced this and realize you can get out of it, it gives a lot of confidence. And it is crucial to become aware of what plays an important role in your context, getting a grip on it, embracing the richness, and seek for patterns of meaning. In most cases, it will be the user that is your guide. It's the user that decides, and it gives a meaning to each direction that is worthwhile going for. So let's see how this could work with an actual example of our work. So one of the most competitive industries at the moment is the airline industry. What they offer is pretty much the same for every airline, a seat in an aircraft. And differentiation is primarily based on price, service, and timetables. For the rest, could you tell which airlines these are based on the interior? Aren't they pretty much the same? Well, the airlines in the pictures are all very different in passenger perception. Virgin is entirely different from EasyJet or Emirates. But if the interior is pretty much the same for all, airlines can only differentiate in branding and service. So how do we make a difference in this industry? Well, let's take for example the flight tracker. It's one of the most viewed and most appreciated in-flight services. And when you run a flight, especially the long-distance flights, you want to know where you are. I'm always so amazed of the vast amount of countries, the cultures, the stories, and the nature you're flying above without even noticing. So how could we leverage this and make use of this to differentiate an airline from the others? So what designers do is look around, scout for opportunities, and see if they can be translated back to this context. So how about Pokemon Go? We've all seen and heard the stories. Intriguing what it has done in such a short notice. And I immediately think of how this can be used in other contexts. So how about our in-flight context for airlines? Well, designers of Airbus have developed this future vision for the cabin, where you can use augmented reality to have a better experience of your journey. You're more in control and you're more aware. But it's quite far in the future. So what our students from our faculty have done is they developed this kind of flight tracker. They redesigned the entire in-flight entertainment. And they have looked from the passenger perspective and how not all the passengers are the same. Some might be more functional in tracking their flights, others are more interested in facts, nature, animals, culture, music, food, history, and more. So they have created various flight track channels according to your personality, also enabling you to share that experience when you're traveling with friends or loved ones. So your flight becomes a social journey in itself. We have uploaded a video that explains the concept even more on the MOOC platform. So this concept got such a recognition in the industry that it won the largest aviation prize, the Crystal Cabin Award. So exploring opportunities starts with getting a grip on the complexity of your context and looking at it from different perspectives. Next up is a quiz with some questions, and they help you to reflect on this video. And afterwards, we'll get more hands-on on how to get a grip on this complexity and on exploring opportunities. Using an example from our work, we will show you how to explore the context and find those opportunities. So see you next time.